We'll go ahead and get started. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to today's agenda meeting, where we'll review the action items that we formally address next Tuesday evening, June 3rd at 6 p.m. right here at City Hall. We'll call upon our city manager, Mr. Bill Burrow, to review those action items. Bill?
Thank you, Mayor, members of the board. Gary Troutman will be here that evening to present his monthly report on economic development. He'll have that here at your meeting. Moving into your consent agenda, your first item is consider resolution R-25106, a resolution authorizing the acceptance of a grant from the Arkansas Division of Aeronautics for certain hangar roof repairs at the Hot Springs Memorial Field Airport and approving a budget amendment. And our airport director, Don Rollett, will discuss.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On April 15th, the board approved resolution 10646 that authorized the airport to apply for a grant with the state aeronautics in order to make some repairs on hangar roofs for particular hangars. And during that time, we had put forth an 80-20 grant request, and was mentioned also that due to the type of work that we were doing, it could possibly be downgraded to a 50-50. We, on the 21st of May, we were approved for the 80-20 grant from the state. And so this resolution is for the acceptance of that grant and a budget adjustment or amendment in order to cover the 20% part that we have.
Any questions on this item? Director Trustee?
Just one. What was that amount, Don? I'm sorry.
The total project was $40,200, and the local amount is $8,040.
Okay, thank you.
Any additional questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is consider resolution R-25107, a resolution declaring certain structures located at 214 Potter Street a nuisance and condemning same pursuant to Title 17 of the Hot Springs Code. And our chief building official, Mike Scott, will discuss the item.
Thank you. The City of Hot Springs proposes condemnation for the purpose of demolishing and clearing a vacant single-family residential structure at 214 Potter. This is a vacant single-family residence owned by Martha Calix. Ms. Calix signed a consent for demolition on February 7th of this year, requesting the City of Hot Springs raise and remove the structure located at 214 Potter. On February 27th, the city ordered a limited title search that confirmed Ms. Calix is the sole title record owner of this subject property. The 2024 tax statements indicates that she does not owe any property taxes, and this is in District 2. This is for demolition of the home and the smaller building they call the garage.
Any questions of Mike? Mike, given our conversations, the board conversations a couple weeks ago, when you looked to make sure that the taxes were paid, do we know that, was she paying the taxes, or was there a third party?
Yeah, she was paying it. We were able to get in contact with her on the whole bit.
Okay.
So yeah, she signed the consent agreement, and she's easy for us to get a hold of. So
Very good.
yeah,
Thank you.
Next item is consider resolution R-25108, a resolution approving cost-saving change order number 1 to the agreement with Coakley Company, Inc. for the construction of Phase 1 of the Lower Gulf Interceptor. This resulted in a negative $1,281,276. Our project engineering project manager, Todd Pillar, will present. Todd.
Thank you and good afternoon. Coakley Company was awarded the Phase 1 of the Lower Interceptor, and we did some value engineering with them, and the biggest one was we worked with RDOT and got the bore and casing underneath the bypass on Gulf Creek, so now we can open cut it. And it was a major savings of $1,281,276. This will be put back into our bond money, our 449 board-approved 2025 wastewater budget.
Well, any questions on that? It's not often that we get a cost reduction of that size. They're very nice.
Next item
Thank
is-
you.
Next item is Resolution R 25-109, a resolution approving change order number 2 to the contract with Max Foot Construction Company LLC for additional work required at the Davidson Drive wastewater treatment plant in the amount of $248,942. And again, Mr. Pillar.
Thank you. There were 14 changes that were plus and minuses during our CMAR contract. And these changes added up to 0.7% of the contract price of almost $35 million. And they'll be in your board packet. You'll be able to read them, all the different changes. I don't want to go through all of them. But again, it'll be part of the 2025 wastewater bond fund. And I have put a COA in there from Karen Scott in the back.
Any questions? Director Webb?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. So Todd, on this project, is Chris Engineering who's kind of providing the oversight? Or,
This is probably the next item on the agenda.
okay. But I mean, I know that Max Foot Construction is who's doing the work, but as far as reaching out to Max Foot or, you know, having this particular work requirement added, would they have been, I guess, recommended by Chris Engineering to do it if it were planned months ago, per se?
Yes, Christ Engineering is over the construction management and inspection of the project.
Okay, thank you.
Any additional questions? Thank you.
Next, we have consider Resolution R 25-110, a resolution approving change order number 3 to the contract with Chris Engineers, Inc. for additional construction, administration, and design changes for the Davidson Drive wastewater treatment plant in the amount of $414,500. And again, Mr. Pillar.
Yeah, this is, Director Webb, this is exactly what we were talking about. The complex of this project, we need additional construction administration and engineering support from Christ Engineers, and they have provided us with a contract change order not to exceed of $414,500. And again, it'll come out of the 2025 wastewater bond fund, and a COA has been attached to in your packet.
Any, Director Webb?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. So Todd, when you said it's going to be attached to our packet, will that include the administration changes, per se?
Yes, it'll have.
breakdown of that?
I put in there the original contract and the changes and
Okay.
the change order.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Director Trustee?
Thank you, Mayor. Todd, will it detail the additional work that's going to be done and the additional fees for the design changes in that work order? I mean, this is a lot of money for a change order.
Yes.
In my mind.
It's in your packet.
Okay, it'll all be in there?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
It's
thank you.
It's still, though, a very small percentage when you look at the total cost of what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah. You're looking at $35 million projects.
Right.
But there again, this is just for construction administration and design. It's not the actual construction.
That's right.
No.
Related to-
Max Foot is doing the construction.
And you'll see that, you know, the 14 projects we're discussing, a lot of that was due to needing to move some of the things on the site itself for the transformer, some of the underground work that had to be changed. So it was a design change once we got into that point. Also, it added, I think, another couple hundred days, 110 days. Do you remember what that was, what the days were on this one?
I think 107, 100.
But all that'll be in your packet. You'll be able to
107
read
sticks
it.
in my mind, but
Director Webb?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor.
But, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that most of the delays on the time frame is due to energy, both at Gulfa Pump Station and at the Davidson Drive wastewater plant. We're waiting for 3,000 kVA pad-mounted transformers, which we waited almost 72 weeks to get at the new water plant.
So, I mean, speaking of those transformers, Bill, you mentioned that a lot of these change orders are due to having to put up the new transformer to get power out to the wastewater plant. Which specifically, which items pertain to that? Do you know?
If you'll go, we can go back to the previous item. Hang on just a second, let me
Okay.
pull that up.
I wasn't here when you approved that $580,000 for energy to run basically from Mr. Whiskers, Acres Road, all the way down Malvern Avenue to our Gulf Pump Station. We have 300 horsepower pumps there now, and we're adding 3 500 horsepower pumps. So they had to upgrade the size of the lines and everything to feed us.
Give me a second, I'm going back to it.
300 to 500.
No, adding.
So it'll be, those 300 will still be there plus 3.
There are, we call those the low weather or normal pump station. And the ones that Chris Engineers designed and Max Foot's putting in are the 3 500 wet weather pumps.
Now, 500 in what measurement?
Horsepower.
Okay.
So we're talking about Davidson Drive on this particular one. So when you go back and you look at the things, we had 14 changes with Max Foot. Some of those were increases in cost, some of those were decreases in cost. Fiber optic cable was almost 39,000. Credit for deletion of spare progressive cavity pump was a negative 16. Reroute existing gas and potable water at the generator area was 50,000. Credit for deletion of slide gate at Clarifier 5 was a negative 13,000. Credit for Hobus pipe substitution was a credit of 230,000. Credit for carbon pipe substitution was a credit of 26,000. Remove and replace unsuitable material at Genset was an increase of 47,000. The biggest one was the head box modification. It was 175,000. This is all in their contract, in the construction. Mixed liquor expansion changes was 19,000. Temporary power plan was 36,000. Flow meter vault number 1, existing utility relocation, was 74,000 for the materials only. Aeration basin lighting repairs was 23,000. Utilize new blowers for temporary service, 36,000. Alignment E and G conflicts with the existing utility was 33,000. When you take all of the increases and negative change orders, it was 248,942 in that contract. On the change order with Christ, it was the design and oversight of all of those changes in addition to the increase in the number of days for the project.
I look forward to seeing that information. Thank you.
Sir,
Any
still got a
addition-
couple more coming.
Any additional questions? Thank you.
Next, we have a resolution R-25-111, a resolution approving change order number 2 to the contract with Max Foot Construction Company LLC for additional work required at the Gulfa Wet Weather Sewer Pump Station in the amount of $249,294. Todd?
Thank you, Bill. Again, there was 12 changes that that came up, and out of a $10 million contract, $249,294 is a 2.5% increase, but we thought it would be best to bring it to the board's attention. And again, this item will be paid out of the 2025 wastewater bond fund. And all those changes will be they'll be in your packet.
Thank you.
Any questions? Thanks.
Next item is a resolution approving change order number 2 to the contract with Chris Engineers, Inc. for additional construction administration and inspection services for the Gulfville Wet Weather Sewer Pump Station in the amount of $151,750. Todd?
Thank you. This, again, is construction administration and inspection for Chris Engineers, mainly due to the delay of our 3,000 kVA pad mounted transformer from Energy. But they have given us a contract not to exceed amount of $151,750. And again, it'll come out of the board approved 2025 wastewater bond fund.
Any questions on this item? Thank you.
I will say that for both of those where we have engineering services included, if transformers, if Energy gets that work done in an earlier time frame, this will be reduced. It is in a maximum, so it could be
Yeah,
up to that, but we're hoping to get that work done sooner, which would decrease the amount of the actual change order work.
Yeah, it's a not to exceed price.
Would that be for item 5? Oh, excuse me, Mayor.
Go ahead, you're fine.
Thank you, Mayor. Would that be for items 5 and 7? Just those that are administrative? They're set at the max?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Yes, sir.
The others,
Director-
construction's got to be done.
Director Trustee?
Thank you, Mayor. Todd, you said we're waiting on Entergy. Are they going to have to run new poles or just new lines to handle the additional electrical needs? I thought they were building an all-new path, but if they're coming along the highway on the existing poles, I didn't understand that when we approved that contract last week.
In your packet, I gave you all the Energy engineering drawings.
Okay,
You can look at them.
okay,
Yes, there are, they're not distribution poles anymore. They're
Okay.
transmission poles.
okay,
A distribution pole is wood.
right,
Right.
right.
Transmission line is a galvanized steel. It's different.
So are that going to run along the highway, or is it will run?
It'll run along the highway until from,
Stratcor.
yeah, Acres Road.
Acres, right.
I call it Mr. Whiskers.
That's all right. I know where you're at.
And it goes all along Malvern Avenue until it gets to Catherine Heights.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Going back to what Director Trustee's saying is that, so they're having to construct, install a series of metal poles. They're not attaching a wire to existing poles.
No.
All right.
Probably has everything, so they increase the cost.
Thank you. Any additional questions? Thanks.
Next, we'll start your first of 2 ordinances. It's considered ordinance O-2526, an ordinance amending the zoning map from RR Rural Residential to CTR Commercial Transitional Zone District for approximately 2.2 acres generally located at 175 Wayne Place, amending the future land use plan map to commercial enclave and for the purposes. And Don Dobbs is here to present the item. I had Kathy earlier this morning, so when I looked up, I was like, oh, that's.
Wait a second. Thank you. Good evening. First, for approximately 175 Wayne Place, applicant and property owner, Mr. Matthew Johnson, seeks CTR Commercial Transitional District zoning for approximately 2.2 acres of land located at Wayne Place, south of Spring Street. The subject property is currently zoned RR or Rural Residential, has manufactured home overlay, has industrial future land use plan map classification, and is in Board of Directors District 1. So this is originally one parcel. It was divided in February of this year. The original parcel was split zoned. It was M1 and R1. And that was recorded in February, on February 4th of 2025. The undeveloped 2.2 acre property is Lot 1 in the Matthew Johnson Lot Split subdivision, south of Spring Street and east of Honeycutt Street, with frontage along Wayne Place. The surrounding property zoning, west is IMU Industrial Mixed Use and RN1 Residential Neighborhood 1. South is RR Rural Residential District. North is IMU Industrial Mixed Use District, and east is IMU Industrial Mixed Use District. Adjacent and nearby land uses, industrial, residential, single-family, and undeveloped residential land. The subject property abuts residential zoning to the west and south. Various industrial and light industrial uses are nearby. This 2.2 acre is undeveloped and has manufactured home overlay. CTR commercial transitional zoning would provide a buffer between the residential and industrial uses and zoning nearby. CTR, or commercial transitional district, is intended to accommodate low-intensity commercial uses that serve as a transition between residential neighborhoods and higher-intensity commercial or mixed-use areas. The CTR district also accommodates conversions of existing single-family dwellings to low-intensity commercial uses, creating a unique mixed character. The Board of Directors will consider the following standards. Approval of amendments is based on the balancing of these standards: the compatibility with surrounding development or zoning, the extent to which the proposed amendment creates nonconformities, responds to a significant change in surrounding physical, economic, land use, or other conditions, implements an approved city plan, including the comprehensive plan, the consistency of the proposed amendment with the objectives of this code, fulfills a demonstrated public need, or corrects an error in previous map amendment action. The applicant provided a narrative. He states that he demonstrates compatibility with surrounding development and zoning. CTR zone district would provide a buffer between surrounding residential and industrial zoning and uses. 2, is consistent with the objectives of the zoning code. Ordinance number 6513, section 5.1, purpose notes the CTR zone supports low-intensity uses that provide a transition between residential neighborhoods and higher-intensity commercial or mixed-use areas. The standard is met. 3, the future land use plan map designation is industrial, not residential. The applicant states the CTR is more consistent with a non-residential zone than a residential one. The standard is met. The future land use map amendment finding to Planning Commission was that the property's future land use classification of industrial is not entirely supportive of CTR zoning. Therefore, a future land use plan map amendment, commercial enclave, is recommended, which would support the requested CTR zoning. The zoning map amendment finding to Planning Commission was that the applicant successfully demonstrates that the standards for favorable consideration have been met. Planning Commission is able to establish a basis for recommending to the Board of Directors that the proposed change demonstrates compatibility with the surrounding development and zoning and is consistent with the objectives of the zoning code. Planning Commission's action at their duly advertised May 8th, 2025 meeting, the Planning Commission accepted the findings and recommendation of the staff report and by their 7-0 vote, recommended the Board of Directors approve an ordinance amending the zoning map for the City of Hot Springs, Arkansas, for land generally located at 175 Wayne Place for RR Rural Residential to CTR Commercial Transitional Zone District.
We have any questions of Dawn? Director Garcia?
Thank you, Mayor. In our packet, can you include, it was noted that this could be a buffer between the different industrial and residentials, different zones. But what else could this, if it's changed to CT, what else can go there? If it's changed, anything allowed in that zone could go in that.
And we can,
Space.
we can include the use matrix with your packet.
Okay, and can you also include if there was any residents or business owners that attended and if anyone opposed this change, or if your office has heard from anyone
Okay.
about it?
We can include that as well.
Thank you.
Any additional questions of board members? Thank you.
Next item is consider ordinance O-2527, an ordinance amending the zoning map from RN5 residential neighborhood to Central Business District CBD for approximately .18 acres generally located at 223 Civic Street, amending the future land use map to linear commercial corridor and for other purposes. And again, Ms. Dobbs.
Thank you. The applicant and co-applicant, Mr. Charles Schrader and Jonathan Martin, representing the property owner, Earl Gill Enterprises, seek CBD or Central Business District zoning for approximately .18 acres of land located at the corner of Civic Street and Convention Boulevard. The property is located at 223 Civic Street, is developed with 2 commercial structures. The site is located west and across Convention Boulevard from the City of Hot Springs Convention Center, and north and across Civic Street from the Sentinel Record newspaper office. This property has approximately 81 feet of street frontage on Civic Street and approximately 85 feet of street frontage on Convention Boulevard. The adjacent and nearby land uses include the Convention Center, multifamily residential, local newspaper office, government building, hotel, and religious institution. This application seeks zoning change consideration from RN5 Residential Neighborhood 5 District to CBD Central Business District. The subject property abuts CBD zoning to the west and to the south. This approximately .18 acre property consists of 2 commercial structures, one constructed in 1960 containing approximately 3,660 square feet, and the other constructed in 1986, consisting of approximately 1,580 square feet. The property was most recently used as a neighborhood bar known as the Corner Bar. Hot Springs Code states the following in ordinance number 6513, Article 5, Commercial Districts 5.1. Purpose. F. CBD, Central Business District. The Central Business District is intended to accommodate the most intense mixed-use development within the city of Hot Springs. The CBD district comprises of a predominantly vertically mixed-use environment focused on creating a vibrant, pedestrian-oriented, active downtown. District standards are oriented toward achieving a high quality of design and encouraging building forms that complement the area's existing urban fabric. Ordinance number 6513, Article 14, Zoning Approvals and Permits, 14.1 Zoning Text and Map Amendment. The Planning Commission recommendation and the Board of Directors' decision on any zoning text or map amendment is a matter of legislative discretion that is not controlled by any particular standard. However, in making their recommendation and decision, the Planning Commission and the Board of Directors will consider the following standards. Approval of amendments is based on balancing of these standards. The compatibility with surrounding development or zoning. B, the extent to which the proposed amendment creates nonconformities. C, responds to a significant change in surrounding physical, economic, land use, or other conditions. D, implements an approved city plan, including the comprehensive plan. E, the consistency of the proposed amendment with the objectives of this code. F, fulfills a demonstrated public need. Or G, corrects an error in previous map amendment action. The applicant provided a narrative. In part, under 1, demonstrates compatibility with surrounding development and zoning. A change to CBD would be compatible with the surrounding uses, which consist of large event, government, office, hotel, and other commercial uses adjacent. Development and zoning, all adjoining properties directly to the south and west are CBD. 2, is consistent with the objectives of the zoning code, in part, as proposed and as currently situated, the subject property and primary structures appear to be consistent and conforming to the CBD zoning area and setback regulations. Both the location, size, and existing structures would make a non-conforming residential use prohibitive under the current RN5 designation. Finding to the Planning Commission was that the property's land use classification of residential medium-high is not consistent with the requested CBD Central Business District zoning. Therefore, a future land use plan map amendment to linear commercial corridor is recommended, which would support the requested CBD. A future land use plan map designation of linear commercial corridor would be consistent with other adjacent CBD zone properties to the west and south, as well as in the core downtown area. Applicant successfully demonstrates that the standards for favorable consideration have been met. Planning Commission is able to establish a basis for recommending to the Board of Directors that the proposed change demonstrates compatibility with surrounding development and zoning and is consistent with the objectives of the zoning code. The recommendation to Planning Commission was to recommend that the Board of Directors adopt an ordinance amending the zoning map by designating the subject property CBD because the change demonstrates compatibility with surrounding development and zoning and is consistent with the objectives of the zoning code, and to amend the future land use plan map to designate the property linear commercial corridor. The Planning Commission's action at their duly advertised May 8th, 2025 meeting, Planning Commission accepted the findings and recommendation of the staff report and by their 7-1 vote recommended that the Board of Directors approve an ordinance amending the zoning map for the city of Hot Springs, Arkansas for 223 Civic Street from RN5 to CBD.
Any questions of Don? Director Garcia?
Thank you, Mayor. Likewise, could you include the same information on the previous one for
Yes.
for this? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any additional questions? Hearing none. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bill?
Mayor, that completes the item for your next Tuesday's meeting.
All right. Well, got on about 34 minutes. Unusual.
Very.
And we're adjourned.